Looking for a school that provides a solid foundation for your little one? 𝗏𝗏 Christian School is now admitting children from 2 to 6 years old from January 2026. At 𝗏𝗏 Christian School, we understand that every child is unique. Our qualified and experienced teachers ensure that each child gets the personalized attention they need. Our beautiful classrooms are designed to stimulate learning and spark curiosity, offering a rich environment that caters to every child's developmental stage. And we provide balanced meals, snacks, and lunch to keep your little one healthy and energized throughout the day. With a Christian approach, we focus on the holistic growth of every child. Give your child the start of a strong start in life with a school that truly cares. Enroll today. Don't miss this opportunity to give your child the best start. Visit us off Kasarani Mweki Road or call us now at +254 758 396 110. 𝗏𝗏 Christian School, a foundation for the future.
Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Welcome back to the Gigi Report this evening, Friday, the 14th of November 2025. And this is another amazing episode of the Gigi Report. I'm your host, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and I'm happy to have you join us this evening, wherever you're watching us from. Those of you that are watching from television, wonderful. Grab yourself a cup of coffee as we get this conversation underway. Those of you that are following us on the social media platforms, we welcome you to share the links. We are live on Elevate TV Kenya, Facebook and YouTube channels. And this is another of those amazing conversations, as always, on the Gigi Report. And as I always remind you, the Gigi Report is a platform for big, bold, and honest conversation on a broad range of subject matters: social, cultural, political, legal, economic, philosophical, theological, and everything in between. Today we're going to be looking at matters of theological and social and economic nature, talking a little bit about finance, because we are talking to the clergy today. We are talking about clergy retirement, and the question is, are you ready? And so on the set with me is a wonderful gentleman who is going to be talking to us, who is going to be engaging with us and talking to us about this whole subject of retirement. My guest here is John. John, you're here. Thank you so much for coming. Bogua. And John has been in the insurance and then, of course, pension space for a long time. He worked for 𝗔𝗂𝗄𝗏. That's one of the big insurance firms in Kenya, and he's been in this space for the last 30 years. So he brings in a lot of experience in the financial sector and insurance in particular, and he's written an amazing new book, which I'm going to be introducing. But first of all, I want to ask John to introduce himself. Look at this camera and introduce yourself and say the other things I haven't said, and then we get the conversation going.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. My name is John Bugwa, and I'm married to one lady, Mary Mbugwa, for the last 32 years.
Wonderful.
And that union has been blessed with 2 boys who now are adults, and we thank God for everything.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, wonderful. Welcome, John. And you know, TV is not everybody's cup of tea, but today you're going to have to flow with me here, and I believe you're going to do very well, right? So, John, let me make it a little bit easier for you, so that you know our friend 𝗟𝗃𝗥𝗚𝗀 who connected us. He has very high view of both you and also this particular show. So I want him to, as he joins us, I encourage you, Charles, wherever you are, please share this link with your friends and get this conversation underway. So I always like asking my guests to start from, give us your background, your career. How did you get to where you are today? Give us that little quick run.
Thank you, and most appreciated for that question. I left University of Nairobi after undergraduate studies at the end of June 1991.
Mm-hmm.
And waiting now for the public service, then to interview us, I immediately got a job at 𝗏𝗏𝗏 which was a parastatal then.
Yes.
So finished university in June 1991, and July I was already working at 𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Wow.
And I worked there for quite a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And then transitioned to an insurance company,
mm-hmm.
which then was known as Mercantile Life and General.
Mm-hmm.
It was starting and gave me very good experience of
mm-hmm.
how an insurance company starts,
mm-hmm.
and what does it need to start. So
mm-hmm.
this was very good experience.
Okay.
From there, then a number of years again, after that I went as now a middle-level manager
mm-hmm.
to an insurance broker which by the name Community Insurance Brokers.
Okay.
And then transitioned to Chancery Right, the one you have mentioned,
mm-hmm.
where I came still at middle management as a marketing manager
mm-hmm.
in 2004.
Okay.
And have served there for 21 years.
Wonderful.
And the last 10 years as a CEO.
Okay.
But just to add one more item is that I then left Chancery Right
uh-huh.
End of September.
Mm-hmm.
After 10 years, I said I did 2 terms. That's what I usually say as a CEO, because it was 10 years.
Yes.
And now I'm more engaged in ministry,
mm-hmm.
which is called CRP,
mm-hmm.
Clergy Retirement Planning.
Mm-hmm.
So that ministry is more to train pastors about preparing for retirement.
Right.
On the side, we are also doing with some churches tent making, because I've been in insurance for the last 4 years and some months.
mm-hmm.
We have started an insurance agency
mm-hmm.
by the name Beacon of Hope.
Okay.
Beacon of Hope Insurance Agency. And more basically is tent making to make sure that the ministry also runs, because we have seen it can't run just from the sales of the book.
Okay.
And all the trainings are free,
mm-hmm.
the ones we offer for pastors.
Wow.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Amazing, amazing conversation. Please make sure you don't miss this conversation. Those of you that are pastors, your church leaders, we're going to be talking to you this evening, and we're going to be addressing this big issue of retirement. John 𝗟𝗃𝗥𝗚𝗚, I want you to, because you've written a book, and,
yes.
and maybe it's important I introduce this book to our viewers right away.
Yes.
I will ask the cameraman to focus on this particular book. It's called Shepherding the Sunset Years for Clergy. This is an amazing book, John, and I also acknowledge the fact that you got a honorary doctorate in business administration,
yeah.
and that's and congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So let's. I want us to begin by talking about this whole business of I think let's start with with retirement. Yes. You've worked in the space, like you have discovered. You have discussed insurance and pension. I don't know how much of the pension funds and pension institutions, but talk to us about retirement pension systems in this country, and also give us some kind of historical background, because I checked you've spent quite a bit of time laying that foundation in the book.
Thank you for that question about pensions. Yes, pensions is part of the retirement planning, and I'm lucky to have been one of the people who are involved at the starting point of the Retirement Benefits Act, 1997.
Wow.
Because I started the insurance career in 1991. The Retirement Benefits Act 1997 came in 1997. So I was one of the people now already in middle management. We held various forums.
All right.
And then after that, then there was the year 2000 rules, which now operationalized the Retirement Benefits Act.
Okay.
Now, in the issue of pensions, maybe I'll just mention a few things. One, we have about 2.5 trillion in pensions.
Okay.
Big portion of that is with NSSF. So NSSF takes about 20% of that, which could be almost be 500 billion.
Okay.
The rest of it, then a big portion, one is with insurance companies acting as fund managers. Because what the Retirement Benefits Act did is to bring sanity into the area of pensions. It divided roles and put a lot of systems and structures in terms of ensuring that pensions are then used only for the intended purpose.
Okay.
So that they are not used if an institution doesn't have some money to do a building, then they take it there.
Okay.
So retirement benefits was coming to just protect those funds and ring-fence them.
Okay.
So fund managers were brought in. They have their role to invest, and they don't keep the money, but they invest.
Okay.
The money stays with somebody called a custodian.
Okay.
Which is basically banks.
Okay.
So again, they have their role. Then you have somebody else called a pension administrator to keep the records. Then you have an auditor. And overall, you have trustees who are entrusted, so to speak, with the role of making sure that the pension runs well. Now, maybe the other thing I would mention is, when you look at that, we have, for people who are in employment, about 20% are in pensions.
Okay.
Which is not a very big number.
Okay.
So the rest are not there. And so now, coming to the relevance in terms of church ministers and pastors,
Yeah.
then now when you narrow down to that, there are not so many in pensions.
Okay. Okay.
Apart from maybe one or two mainstream churches, like 𝗥𝗍𝗄, which does have a good pension scheme under the investment arm called the Church Commissioners of Kenya.
Okay.
They're the ones who run it. But from my research, we don't have many pastors in pension. So that's an area they really need to be encouraged. And because the minimum you can invest per month is 500 shillings. And the good thing is that that money will not be invested as 500 shillings. It will be invested with other billions. And so it will get the warmth of all these billions and get a good return.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I love that kind of background. That and I'm sure this is a message for everyone that is listening. Anyone that is facing this thing called retirement, or anyone, even people who are coming into the work environment today. You've given us a very interesting number. Only 20% of Kenyan employees are in pension schemes. So meaning that 80% of Kenyans are actually not planning for their pension or retirement programs, even though they are working in all kinds of places. So that's a very serious issue. And then, of course, right now, the kitty, the pension bag has about 2.5 trillion. That's not a lot of money. And most of that, as you say, is with the National Social Security Fund, which carries about 20% of that. And the other thing which you have sadly brought to bear is the fact that among churches which employ clergy, pastors and all that, other than the Anglican Church, which has a pension program, the other churches, what about the Catholics? I thought the Catholics would be...
Those are also okay. Those ones are okay.
Okay, so the Catholics are okay, and the Anglicans are okay. The Presbyterians, we don't know, and the others, the Pentecostals, that's a different story. And I think that's why we are having this conversation, and that's why John Mpogwa is here. He has wealth of information. But let's talk about this thing called retirement, all right?
Yes.
John, do we really have to retire? This retirement, how did we get to here? Why does a 55-year-old man hardly, dented? He's still in very good health, very strong, very sharp. He can go back to university and earn a bachelor's. And why must he retire? Give us the background of retirement. How this became the norm in civil service and of course in private enterprises.
Thank you. I've done a lot of research, and much of it is in the book. I think one thing to mention about retirement is what we need to understand is another phase.
Okay.
So if we are a church minister, we are not saying the call ends. But what we are saying is basically that you're going to serve in another phase because God needs us until the last day to be in his vineyard.
Okay.
Now, globally and then locally, in terms of how did the retirement come about, people used to work until they die.
Okay.
But a number of issues happened, particularly in places like US, when there was the Great Depression in 1930s.
Okay.
So jobs became less, and young people, just like the way you have in Kenya, in US then wanted jobs, and jobs have become less. So the older ones had to be exited.
Okay, okay.
So that's how it started. That's the history of it in terms of globally. And the other one was in the Roman Empire. If you remember, the Roman Empire was very big. And they had soldiers who would serve maybe for 25 years because the service of soldiers, you can't do it as until you are very old.
Yes.
At a certain age, you need to give in to the younger people.
All right.
So when, as the soldiers were exiting, they needed then to be a retirement plan for them, and they were getting there were two options. One was money, and the other was some land. So you opted whatever you want, and the land was being given in one area, so they started retirement villages.
Okay.
Which later on in Europe now became cities.
Okay.
Yes, so that's the history.
Wonderful. And that's all.
It's in the book.
In the book, I was reading that, and I was very, very absolutely impressed that the city of Lyon, for example, in France, was actually a retirement city. And soldiers during the Roman Empire, when you served, you ran out of capacity to run up the hills, during those very dangerous days. And they never lived long anyway. Most soldiers would die in war. So if you survived it, then you got given some piece of land, and then unajipanga, as they say. And so that actually means that we draw a lot from the Roman Empire traditions. And then I think the other thing I noticed that you've covered in your book is the idea that retirement became popular back in the West. In Germany, in the US, like you are saying, in UK, in other jurisdictions in the late 1800s. That is the 19th century. And by the turn of the century, the last 20th century, a lot of nations had now kind of institutionalized retirement, 70 or 65, whatever it is. So we are inheritors of that tradition,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
How about Kenya? How long in this country did we really start dealing with the issue of retirement, formalizing? What are the statutes, for example, that exist? Because I know people are retiring anyway, all the way from since independence.
Thank you for that question. It's a very important one, and which we have discussed sometimes in two forums, so I'll put two areas.
Yeah.
One, the missionaries who came, they had their benefits back in their countries.
Okay.
So they will have medical. So sometimes they could get treated here or treated outside. They also had their pension benefits.
All right.
But somewhere they never explained very well to the people they were training here as catechists and many others to take over from them in terms of planning for retirement.
Okay.
So we missed the boat there. But then there were also expatriates, be it in the private sector where there were a lot of expatriates. They also had pensions, and some of them started doing them here.
Okay.
So the history of Kenya is before 1963, we had some pensions already here. And some of them outside and some that are done here locally, particularly for expatriates. So that's the history we have. Then now coming to independence in 1963, then of course the public service, the civil servants, then there was a scheme. Even now we still have it. We still have the superannuation fund for the civil servants. The disciplined forces also have theirs. So that's the history we have mostly is from missionaries not telling us, then now the civil servants having some pension. And I'm bringing this issue of missionaries to mean then, because I want to bring out the issue of pastors.
Yes,
That's how the pastors came being left behind. Because they were just now told, just do ministry, and the Lord will provide when you grow old.
Okay.
But yet the missionaries had something,
Yes.
a cushion for
Yes.
themselves.
Yes.
So we missed the boat there, but public service and all that, there was that history where that started. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
And sometimes the church misses the misses off on the boat.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's very unfortunate.
Yes.
That some of those ideas did not quite were not passed on.
Okay.
And that's where now you come in. You
Yes.
are a trainer. You are so passionate.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, my guest here, Dr. John Bogwa, will give anything to train. You actually said you actually do it for free, so that's very, very amazing. That you do this for free.
Yes.
And of course you have developed a system so that the system is
Yes.
sustainability.
Yes.
Is sustainable.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about your experience working with clergy and training them on retirement. What's been your experience? What you find? What's the situation like? Are clergy ready for retirement?
Thank you very much. I've been in very many forums.
Yes.
Maybe I'll just mention a few as I say my experiences. I'll split it into two. The urban pastors or church ministers, for that matter, all of them, because either is reverend, apostle, bishop, whoever. Those ones are understanding about retirement planning.
Yes.
When I go, and with a lot of due respect, to the church ministers in the rural area, some of them are not, getting the whole information and understanding what we are talking about.
Right.
So I've been in some places where I've been told to my face, pastors don't retire.
Okay.
So that's basically
End of training.
end of. Okay, what I do is now to persuade them
Yes.
that just the way I said before, we are not talking about ending the call.
Yes.
Because that's how they look at it.
Yes.
What you're talking about here is just another phase of serving and also building a legacy where you change, just like the way in Numbers 8, the Levites were being told, now you'll not be on the front, you'll not be the one doing the the services, but you be more on a supportive role.
Yes.
So they can also go to a supportive role where you build a legacy, you train people, you mentor them, you work with them, but it's not you doing the job. So when I explain to them that, they start now understanding. But the reception has been very good when you come to the urban places, and I'll mention one or two. About 2 or 3 months, I was at the provincial synod of the Anglican of Kenya. That is the apex decision-making body of the Anglican Church of Kenya.
Yes.
And it was being held at 𝗏𝗟𝗧 Cathedral. I was given an opportunity to talk to all the bishops, about 40 of them,
Yes.
and other delegates of the Anglican Church of Kenya. And the reception was good. Even the book, they bought quite a number of copies.
Yes.
Now, another place I went is the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya.
Yes.
They were celebrating 50 years.
Yeah, by the way, we were covering that, actually.
Yes. And it was there for 3 days. And in the second day, I was given an opportunity to go up the podium and talk about retirement. Again, very good reception. In fact, if you remember, after that, the president came the last day.
Yes.
But second day is when I talked about it. Again, the reception was very good. The book bought, and business cards given to me, and appointments to go to various places. So again, that was amazing. So people have very good reception. So I got invitations to go to Western Kenya, some to Mombasa, some to Kambani. So the reception is good.
Yes.
But in the local, down there in the village, because my biggest interest, actually, let me give the example of the pastor I look at.
Yes.
In the rural areas, we usually have a church made of mabati, both roofs, the roof and the walls.
Yeah, the suit.
Yes, it is the suit. Thank you for that. So it's a suit.
Yes.
And then you find a small car parked outside there. And people have, and there's no other vehicle on Sunday apart that one. And that vehicle mostly belongs to the pastor.
Right.
And the assumption around there is that that pastor is quite doing well financially. But that's not the truth, because this pastor, yes, could be seen to be doing financially well, but when a child within the congregation doesn't have school fees, they run to the pastor.
Yes.
When somebody is sick and there's a bill in hospital and they're not able to pay, as they do their harambe, the person they run to back is that pastor.
Yes.
If, for example, there is an emergency, maybe a pregnant lady wants to give birth at night. I don't know why babies like coming out at night. So the same pastor then they'll come and ask for the car. He drives them to the nearest maternity place. They will not put fuel most of the time. It's not like the urban ones.
Yeah.
So that pastor, much as he's seen to be doing well,
Yes.
as he retires, or the day he'll be leaving that ministry, he won't have saved much.
Yes.
And that's the pastor I'm looking at. If he is able to save 500 shillings from all these demands of his congregation, because he gets just a little money in tithes and offerings, and then it's like he gives back all the money again
Yes.
to the same congregation.
Yes.
If there could be 500 for him in a savings scheme somewhere, that is the pastor I'm looking at.
Ah, wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. I am so excited about that, because I'm very passionate about, the ministries and seeing the church thrive. Yeah. And I love the fact that you're down to earth. You've been a CEO, but you understand, that they need to wear it hats.
Yes.
And maybe we didn't tell people that you're also an elder, yes. And a leader in a church, yes. Ministry. Yes. So that really gives you a very good view, yes. of the reality, yes. of the yes. pastor, that old man of God, yes. who is in their 70s, yes. some of them are in their 80s, yes. and one day they will not even be able to drive that car, yes. and they will retire. Yes. So the question is, what is the church doing? What are you doing about that, pastor? Exactly. If you're a member of that congregation, are you thinking yes. about the retirement? Yes. And yes. I'm also, now, in fact, there's another group I want you to address yourself. I don't know whether you've
yes.
met them.
Yes.
There are people called founders.
Yes.
The people who founded churches okay. and ministries.
Okay.
And I hear they are also infected yes. by a disease called 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.
Yes.
It is, It has no cure.
Yes.
And the disease is anything they get,
Yes.
they put in the church.
Yes.
You know, or they are, if they are given a large sum of money, they
Yes.
think about what haven't we done
Yes.
for this denomination. So that kind of thing. Those people actually have a challenge in handling and planning retirement. Have you encountered that? What do you think about that?
Thank you very much. That's a very good question. Maybe before I get to that, just to say in terms of my service in church.
Yes.
I've been an elder in a church called 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Community Chapel.
Yes.
I did their service as an elder for 10 years, 4 years as church secretary, and 6 years as the chairman of the Elders Court. And I've done other things. Currently I'm a trustee at that church.
Yes.
And I'm also chairman of the umbrella body called 𝗏𝗶𝗍𝗏 Kenya, where I'm the chairman of the National Governing Council.
Okay.
So in terms of the ministry, I've done quite a lot on that side. Let's come now to the founders. Somebody made a joke that when they are starting, sometimes they even carry the seats to, the seats from the house.
My producer is telling me we need to take a short break. So, hold it there. We're going to come back to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 𝗔𝗔 report. We're talking about retirement, clergy retirement. Are you ready? That's the question we're asking. I'm going to be looking at your comments here on the various channels. So, keep it here. We're taking a 2-minute break. We'll come back and we'll return to where we just left off. All right. Don't go away.
Explore a world of knowledge at Elevation Bookshop. Dive into topics like marriage, money, and spiritual growth with our vast reading materials. But that's not all. We are thrilled to introduce new additions like stationeries, notebooks, modeling clay, dictionaries, pencils, kamusi, and more. And calling all students, gear up for success with our back-to-school items, providing you with everything you need to excel in every subject. At Elevation Bookshop, we're here to assist you in finding the perfect resources for your journey. Do you have specific preferences or looking for something special? Visit us at Kenya Cinema Plaza, mezzanine floor, or contact us on 0748 902 225. Elevation Bookshop. Enrich your life.
Life Church International, the Apostolic House, is taking a bold step of faith, introducing the Infinity Eastern Bypass Land Project, our mission to secure land for God's house, a place where generations will be transformed. To encourage your support, Apostle David Juma is giving a powerful gift, his transformational book, Restructuring Your Money. With every gift of only 2,000 Kenyan shillings, you receive this life-changing book, personally autographed by Apostle David, and you sow into a legacy of faith. Partner with us, possess the land, build God's house. The time is now.
Welcome back. This is the 𝗔𝗂𝗘 report, and we are talking about clergy retirement. And we're asking the question, are you ready? Are you ready for retirement? And before we went to the break, we were talking about, my guest, experience working with clergy and the various things that you have actually experienced. And before we proceed further, I just want to remind you that my guest has written a brand new book. It's called Shepherding the Sunset Years for Clergy. That is, this book really addresses itself to the issue of pension. I mean of retirement. Pension is part of it, but retirement for clergy. It's a subject that actually I haven't seen anybody address. I haven't seen anyone actually deal with it. So this is a very, very, very important book, staying relevant and joyful in post-ministry life. Dr. John Boguah. So, John, before we went to the break, I had painted the picture of church founders, especially in the charismatic and Pentecostal movement. A lot of our church and the new ones, the evangelical, the Pentecostal movement is growing very, very fast in our country. So there are a lot of people who are actually founders of ministry, even people in our age group. And and I know that they pour out everything. So I want you to return that conversation because you have met them, and because I want you to speak to them. I want you to, given your understanding and what you have actually witnessed, how can they do better? What can be done? And then, of course, retirement is coming. Soon enough, they will not be able to stand on those pulpits, and they have poured out almost all their resources and money and energy and life and even physical health. Speak to them.
Thank you for that question, and it's a very broad and good question. These are very good people, because unless people like those ones go ahead and start churches, then you will not have, that the Great Commission will not happen. So let's first of all affirm them that they are doing a very good job.
Absolutely.
Now, the second thing is that what comes to my mind is that apart from issues of financial, because retirement has two sides. There is a financial planning and there is the non-financial planning for retirement. And the non-financial touches on issues like usage of time, dealing with loneliness when you retire, where are you going to retire, where will you be going for ministry, your spiritual life. So all those areas, mental wellness. So for these founders, before even you talk about finance, because remember, and the best example to me actually is Moses in the Bible.
Yes.
Remember, after all he did, he never entered
the promised land.
The promised land.
Yes.
But he's like a founder. He did so much. So in these founders also, there's a need of knowing that I need to train the next generation to take over from me.
Okay.
And so in my training and our training, because we do with other professionals, because the non-financial, sometimes I don't have all the expertise.
Yes.
Sometimes I do with medical doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, and many others. And luckily enough, there are many people who are ready to give, professionals able to give 2 hours, half a day for free.
Yes.
So everything is still free. So we need to speak to them about building the next generation.
Yes.
The way Moses did about Joshua.
Right.
And even he came out in the open to affirm him, if you remember now in the Bible again.
Yes.
So they need to come back and affirm their Joshua.
Yes.
Paul had Timothy and others, Titus and many others. So they need to affirm that. They need to look at it that one time, yes, they will not have those energies. Then where is the Joshua?
Right.
And we need to help them in terms of that transition.
Right.
The transition from the pulpit to the pew is not an easy one.
Yes.
And sometimes people assume that can be an easy one. It's not an easy one. And so we need to help them in walking through that journey of building their Joshua, their Timothy, and them understanding in terms of emotional detachment.
Yes.
To have an emotional detachment from what they found. And so that's a whole area again, which we talk about transitions and how do you do it, and how then do you become somebody who now people will just be sounding ideas, bouncing ideas from you, and you get into another role of just be a mentor.
Okay.
It's not an easy one, but it's a good one.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm raising that because I hosted on this same show Bishop Dr. 𝗏𝗏 𝗏𝗏, who has actually done a lot of work in leadership transition and the whole idea of transitioning leaders. For example, he was the immediate former presiding bishop of the Redeemed Gospel Church. Huge enterprise, huge denomination, and now he's transitioned to now focusing on the Liberty Christian Center. So he is ex-bishop, but he's still very, very busy. Now it's like he's just kind of come to another phase in his life, preaching internationally. He trains leaders, and then also he did his work in PhD in leadership transition. So he's very, very busy and in very big demand. So what would you advise someone, say for example, in their 60s and they are very active in ministry, and that day, that sunset you're talking about will come maybe not too late into their 70s. How do they, say, for example, transition from the daily preaching on the pulpit, because that might become a bit of a challenge, to something else? And talk to us about how that can be managed. Number two, let's talk about the money. How do you ensure that you keep enough to cover you those days when you are no longer under the stampede of the church? I know the Anglicans have a very good system, but we Pentecostals, you know our story. Tell us what we need to do.
Thank you for that question. Again, the first part in terms of that transition, in terms, he's not now preaching every day and all that. One, it depends on the system, the structures which are in that church.
Yes.
If there are some structures and the systems like elders or deacons, then it is them who, because of course the senior pastor and all that, even that fund will be part of that team.
Yes.
So that is a team which again needs to think through how does that transition happen.
Okay.
The best thing for that is not to happen abruptly.
Yes.
Is to be planned maybe even 5 years, prayerfully. There should be a lot of prayer. If he's a founder or somebody, the senior pastor. So that prayer, then now you start planning. How do we then go easing off our senior pastor or our founder slowly? So if the preaching calendar for him was 4 weeks in a month, then you start to get 3. That's what I was saying, like 5 years. Then it comes to 2. Then it comes to 1. If you allow me, maybe this might not be the best example, but I've been brought up where there were cows. There's something called weaning, so you go reducing the calf from the milk slowly until. So you need to do that. Now, coming to the finance, the finance people, their recommendation is, if for example at 60, you are getting say 100,000,
right,
or 50,000. So when you retire, what you need is 70%.
Okay.
Of what you are getting when you are in, let's say, full-time ministry.
Okay.
So 70%. So that's what we try. We need then to work backwards.
Right.
From before retirement to see, are we going to be having that 70%? So if you have 70%, then you'll be having enough. Because all what reduces probably is the traveling. A few things reduces, but not everything. In fact, some go up, like medical bills. They're likely to go up.
Yes.
so the 70% then cushions you from those kind of things.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I know we don't have all the time to talk about how to work that out. Okay. But I think in your experience, what you have realized, and I would like you to speak to it, is that just preparing early enough. And you've seen a lot of examples. Please give us some of the stories, some of the good stories and bad stories, Okay. For example, let's assume that you receive your pension. You're working with, say, civil service or corporations that actually have pension schemes, and then now you have retired, and now you have your money. You're in your 60s or 70s. Is it the time to start to go into matatu industry, or perhaps build your dream home in the village until the villagers are wondering who is the new MP in town? How do you manage pension money, especially say like when you have accumulated that, or maybe you are returning bishop and the church decides they're going to put in your hands 20 million shillings and say, look, bishop, we are honoring you with this kind of money. What do you do with that kind of money?
That's a very good question. And actually there are various papers written, a lot of research papers done regarding people, what they have done with their pension.
Okay.
So there are horror stories also,
yes,
which are there, but there are also other beautiful stories and very good ones. So one thing which is very clear, distinctive, is in this thing we are calling pension, there are two types. There is what is a pension scheme, which is a monthly income, and there is also what is called a provident fund.
Okay.
The people who have challenges is when it's a provident fund, which means you are given lump sum.
Okay.
The research from Retirement Benefits Authority and many other people who have done research, the guys who are given total lump sum, in most cases, not all, but in most cases, they don't end up very well.
Okay.
For simple reason, for all the years you have been used to a monthly salary.
Right.
So that's what you manage. Let's stick with the 100,000 I mentioned. So you usually, 100,000 after taxes and all those, maybe you end up with 70 or 60 something thousand. So that money is what you usually manage in a month. But all of a sudden now you have been given 20 million. You have no experience. So this provident fund doesn't help people very much, but pension is good where now you buy an annuity or an income drawdown, where now you be getting a monthly income, which is what you have been used to. But in case you get this provident fund, the lump sum, look for people who have a track record in terms of investment.
Yes.
The big people in town who know investment, and don't just go to one person. Listen to 2 or 3. Listen to that, weigh the information, and then see how can they manage that money for you, and they can do all the computations. Yes,
absolutely. I hope you've covered that in this book.
Yes.
Wonderful, amazing, amazing. We're talking about a clergy retirement, and I hope you're ready. I hope you are, you've been preparing yourself. I think John, what happens is that nobody really is ready for retirement. This thing just ambushes you. You find yourself, now I'm quitting. I want to go away. Even where, of course, the government itself forces you out. Most institutions have a cutoff. So the day arrives and we throw a party, give you a golden watch and maybe a wheelbarrow. And you go away. Man, I'm telling you, it's not interesting. So I just want to acknowledge those of you that are following us on the YouTube side of things. Thank you very much indeed. I'm trying to see here, Ribiro Karanja. This is great. We need it more and more. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sure this is 𝗔𝗂𝗁𝗥 Kilonzo. This must be the Charles Kilonzo man. Great subject matter. Thank you, Charles, for following us. Karen Kibuchi, listening and learning from this show. Karen, my wife there, is listening. And she's very, very keen because yours truly is, it should be also on that same bag being sent out on your door. My brother, tell me, John, I know you are in that same age of retirement. Have you retired? And if you have retired, what does it feel like? Do you feel, I know now you've moved in, you've published a book, great stuff. So this is going to give you a time to run around. What's your plan? Let's talk about you and your plan. And what would you like other people to learn from where you are right now?
Thank you very much. That's a good question, and it's practical. So no more theories.
Yes.
Yes, I've retired,
Yes.
in terms of being severed from a payslip. I don't have a payslip.
Yes.
And so the first interesting thing is that because I've been used to a payslip for the 34 years and some months,
Yes.
then all of a sudden there's no payslip.
Yes.
You really need to have thought through how are you gonna meet your bills.
Okay.
So the encouragement I'll give people is, here I am.
Yeah.
I've retired. I don't have a payslip. I'm not employed. I'm out of employment, but I'm thriving. So feel encouraged that there is life after retirement. So that's the first thing.
Yes.
The second thing is, I would encourage everybody, if it were possible, even to a lesser extent, now I'm talking about clergy and non-clergy,
Yes.
don't go to start a new thing which you don't know.
Yes.
So try and do what you already know.
Yes.
So, for example, if you have been teaching in a school, it's easier to go and start a kindergarten
Right.
because you know about schools.
Yes.
And if you have been in another area, just do that if it's possible. If he's a police officer,
Yeah.
you can start a security company.
I like that.
So what I'm saying is, continue in the area you know, because the horror stories which has been there, as you mentioned about matatus, is just being told how a business brings a lot of money, and then you run into it and you have no experience.
Correct.
From the business people, they say the learning curve of any new business is about 5 years.
Okay.
So if you do that in 5 years and you're in retirement, then you'll not be doing the right thing. So my advice is, do what you know. I've been in ministry, I'm continuing in ministry.
Yes.
I've been in insurance for that 4 years, and I'm continuing in insurance at Beacon of Hope.
Yes.
As tent making to support the ministry.
Right.
So do things which you already know.
Wow, that's a brilliant piece of advice. Do things you already know. If some, and by the way, you know, I think we have to accept the fact that there are a lot of what I call bivocational
Yes.
people in ministry.
Yes.
There are pastors and bishops and founders who actually also have skills and experience and expertise in other areas, you know, that serve society other than the preaching.
Yeah.
So and obviously, if you've been in ministry at the center of it,
Yeah.
hardly will you really quit, because even when you say I'm Bishop so and so, I'm retired,
Yes.
they will tell you, no, Bishop, you have to come for our conference.
Yes, yes,
So I see, in fact, some of the clergy are so busy, they looking for a way to tell the congregation, please slow down on me. So that's a good thing. But I like that advice of, if you're going to go into business, it has to be an area where you're familiar.
Yes.
Now, talk to us briefly about, say, selecting investment. I know you said you need to talk to a few people, maybe what you'd call an inner council, form a small council
Yes.
of advisors.
Yes.
What are some of the opportunities, say, for example, for investing? You know that the area right now.
yes,
You know there are those some of the financial investment
Yes.
vehicles
Yes.
that are popular, and they are available right now
Yes.
in Kenya.
Yes.
For somebody who doesn't want to touch, mchanga, hataki
Yes.
kuuza mchanga,
Yes.
but he has this chunk of money, and other than building the plots,
Yes.
what else?
There are many areas to invest, but before I go to the area to invest, just quickly,
Yeah.
I would mention the first thing about money,
Yes.
and which we also train about, is, in terms of behavioral science, what is your relationship with money?
Yes.
So when you even talk about how do you relate with it, do you fall quickly for peer pressure? Do you do impulse buying? What is your risk appetite? So those issues are also very important even before you put your money somewhere. So we also train that, and you'll find people are different. So there's people who are risk averse, others moderate risk, others they are ready, to risk a lot. And so then when it is about retirement money, if you are somebody who can take high risk, we try to temper you because you need investments which doesn't erode capital.
Okay.
Because you don't have another time. So now going to the investments, the best way to categorize them is what because you need also some money. So you categorize them. I would just say liquid investments, and liquid investments means things like treasury bills, treasury bonds, those things which you, and money markets, which you can be able to get the money quickly. If you need it within 24 hours, you get the money.
Yes.
There are some other semi-liquid, then you'll need to take a bit of time, like these long-term bonds, because you can sell them in the secondary market. Then again, that will take a little more time. And there's the non-liquid, where you already went about real estate, building, rentals, and many other things, which Kenyans love. So that is what those are now non-liquid ones. The last thing you should always check is whatever investment you are doing, are you beating inflation?
Okay.
Because if you're not beating inflation, then you're eroding your capital.
Okay.
Currently, inflation could be around 4.6. So you should always be looking, let's say now just round it off to 5, then you should be looking any investment you're talking about.
Yes.
Be it the liquid investment, be it what semi-liquid, be it the illiquid investment, is it beating inflation?
Right.
And anybody investing the money for you, after they deduct their fee, are they leaving you with something above inflation?
Okay.
That's what you should look at.
Wow. Wonderful, amazing, amazing. Lots of wisdom here flowing from my guest here, Dr. John 𝗏𝗏. He's been in, in this finance space for many years. But I love your passion, especially for dealing with the clergy. And you have formed, and you have this whole organization. I think I need to mention it again. It's called Clergy Retirement Planning. And so if you're looking for training and skills for your church, for your denomination, for your community, maybe even some of the denominations, EAK people, I'm sure you are listening. I know you had John on your panel. Please make sure all of you, all the various players in that space, you get a hold of him. I'm sure you work with a team of people. I'm drumming for you. Yes. So very, very important that people get the training. Of course, if you're training at your 70s, it might be a little bit late, but it might help, perhaps save you one or two mistakes before you actually throw your money against bad ideas. Wonderful. So for somebody starting off in work, in the place of work, we should not forget about that, because we might forget that yes, there are people who are starting off. What's available? What are some of the options if you're starting off in a small enterprise? They don't have a very organized saving program or pension. They are not members. We've seen it's only 20%. What is your advice for somebody who is in an enterprise or in a business, employed somewhere, and their employer is not in these big pension schemes?
Thank you for that question. The interesting thing when you talk about retirement, immediately in people's mind, it goes, you have to be a minimum 50 to go for that training about retirement.
Right.
But the person who can really gain a lot from a retirement planning is the person actually who was employed today. Because that person has one big benefit of having time on his or her side.
Right.
Now, there's something called compounding interest.
Yes.
So compounding interest is just that little money goes earning more and more every second, every minute. And so if you invest 500 shillings per month for 40 years, let's say you are 25 and you're going to retire, say 65, for 40 years, 500. And somebody else at 45 or 50 starts investing 5,000. You is 500, the other one is 5,000.
Yes.
At that now, and let's say both of you is at 65 when you get your money, this 500, because of compounding interest, very likely to even be having more than this guy who was doing 5,000 at a late stage.
Yes.
So this young person, I would really speak to him, or the John who, when I started working when I was 22 years. I left university quite early. So I was 22, and if then I knew what I know now.
Right.
I could have done that 500.
Yes.
And I believe by now,
Yeah.
I could be having a good lump sum.
Okay.
So that's the advice I'll give them.
Absolutely.
Start early
Start early.
and start small.
Start early, start small,
Yes.
but be consistent.
Yes.
As they say, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, but the next best time is today. Absolutely amazing. We talk about retirement. We are out of time, but before we wrap up, John, I would like anything else we haven't mentioned, anything else that you feel that we're not talking about in respect to this retirement business before we wrap up?
Okay.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I think one is just to mention where we are ourselves. Our offices at New Muthaiga Mall,
Yes.
Thigiri Road. That's where we have clergy retirement planning offices.
Yes.
So you can reach out to us there. There's also our website and every, in terms if you need any training. The other thing we have not talked about retirement. It's not about the person, but in the African context, we need to look at, does this 70-year-old or 80-year or let's say 70-year-old has other financial obligations which has nothing to do with him or her? I don't know.
Okay.
If you understand what I mean.
Yes.
You have a daughter who has, he's not financially able, he has kids and they are with you. You are the one who is a breadwinner even for the bigger family. When they see you, they see everything. And I think when you're talking about retirement, that whole ecosystem, we need also to think about it.
I will bring you on another day and then you can talk about that. We are out of time, John. Thank you so much indeed. Just look at this camera and give your parting shot in 30 seconds.
Thank you. God would like us to plan for our old age. My passion is to make sure that every church minister, every pastor finishes well and finishes strongly. Help us to make that a reality. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, John. You're such a wonderful man, very passionate. And that's all we had for you today. This is the 𝗔𝗍 Report. Thank you for stay tuned and following this conversation. We'll see you another day. Keep it elevated and God bless you. See you next week. Bye for now.